in the construction business for 23
Mahiya
years.
naman kayo, lalo sa mga
Young
anak natin.
Rodrigo, what China is doing to the Philippines.
So I would presume that in the 23 years,
Understanding politics, listening to the right one.
Hello, magandang umaga, gabi, hapon sa inyong buong mundo.
Gabi.
Wala, may jet lag na tayo. But anyway, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Edwin Lacerda at ng aking gwapong partner ay si...
Maki Gutierrez po. So, welcome po sa aming second episode ng 2026 at di tulad nung aming unang episode na recorded pa, EL.
Dahil may nagko-concert sa Japan kaya hindi ko kami pwede mag-live
Okay. So, welcome uli sa The Insiders at bago ang lahat, gusto po naming magpasalamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsubaybay sa aming programa. Sinimulan lang po namin ito October. Last year. At patuloy ang paglaki ng ating mga subscribers at ng ating mga viewers. At hindi po magiging posible yan kung hindi dahil sa inyong suporta. So maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po talaga.
Okay, so paano ba, EL? Medyo may special guest tayo ngayong araw
Itong special guest na to talagang special talaga. At saka mas special sa'yo dahil matagal mo ng kaibigan.
Matagal ko ng kaibigan, matagal ko ng kasama, at sa nakaraang 6 na taon halos, mahigit. Kitang-kita natin isa sa mga nangunguna na nagtataguyod ng mga progresibong ideals at matapang na lumalaban para sa taong bayan.
Correct. At saka siya yung tipong habang wala siyang kasama, kahit wala siyang kasama sa kung nasaan siya ngayon, lumalaban pa rin siya. Talaga. Yan yung kanyang
Oo, ang tumugi sa pogo, tumugi sa kulto, at patuloy na nagbabantay sa maayos na paggastos ng ating pera. Nagbabantay rin sa kalusugan ng ating mga kababayan.
Tama yun. Oo.
Okay, so without further ado, ang aming special guest para sa episode na ito ay si Senator Risa Hontiveros. Welcome po!
Salamat at Happy New Year, Barry at Edwin. At sa ating mga tagapanood.
Mukhang blooming kayo ngayon, Sen.
Salamat!
Maganda ba ang 2026 na simula so far?
Parang yung pangitain ng painting nyo, maganda at blooming. I don't know, 2025 was so tough, di ba? Oh God, so parang hindi ko maiwasang mas mapuno ng pag-asa sa ngayon for 2026.
Bakit, Risa? Bakit mo nasabi yun?
Yun, by point of comparison, parang after such a difficult, painful year, 2025, ang dami nangyari, di ba? Yung flood control scandal, other allegations of corruption in high places, yung naudlot na impeachment, of course, leadership changes in the Senate at iba pa. Not to mention yung mga natural disasters na nagpahirap sa ating mga kababayan. I don't know, ugali lang ba ng Pinoy na kahit papano pag Pasko medyo sumasaya tayo at pagpasok ng bagong taon, pilit nating gustong maging mas hopeful. I'm really partaking in that right now para mag-charge up for the new year.
Alam mo, Risa, nag-guest kami kay Carmina Constantino, KC After Hours. Ang mga comment doon, sabi nila, napaka-optimistic namin ni Barry.
Happy?
Pero kasama ka doon sa optimism namin and we will that's why you are our first live guest sa 2026 kasi we felt it's important for us to usher in the new year with hope, with optimism, with courage.
Yes.
Especially with the year that is before us, fighting corruption and promoting good governance. But we don't want to do that first, di ba?
Yeah. Kasi ang isang naisip namin, a lot of yung mga tagapanood natin, madami sa mga kababayan natin, kilala ka for your work as a senator, di ba? Na yung ginawa mo for Pogo, yung ginawa mo sa investigasyon kay Kibuloy, yung pag-grill mo sa mga cabinet secretary, sa mga budget hearings, and all that. Kita nila yung tapang, kita nila yung sipag sa pagiging legislator. Pero matagal na tayo magkakilala. Alam ko na hindi nagsimula yung advocacy mo at yung iyong pagkilos para sa bayan sa Sene, di ba? Originally, you weren't in politics, right?
I never imagined to be in politics.
So, can you tell us about a bit about how you got into activism in the first place?
Hindi masyado maaga naman yung childhood muna.
Childhood pa muna?
Yung mga iba, bago siya
Gusto ni
naging-
Edwin further back.
gusto marinig yung kanyang singing voice eh. Yan ang doon ko siya nakilala
Oo nga
eh.
pala.
Meron niya ibang career.
Meron ka nga palang ibang career bago ka naging
Nababalikan ha, by the way. Pag wala na ako sa formal politics, babalik talaga ako sa theater and music.
Okay.
Oo, talaga. Yan ang pangarap ko. First love ko yun. Second love na lang itong activism at saka politics.
By the way, kung
Yeah.
close ka kay Risa, close ako sa kapatid niya.
Yes,
Si Pia.
Pia.
Nung nasa, just a little bit of a trivia, nung nasa palasyo ako, may code name kami sa isa't isa, Risa.
Okay.
Ang code name sa akin, Malacanang. Ang code name ko sa kanya, Kamkrame.
Okay,
Nagmamatian kami, hello Kamkrame, hello Malacanang.
Okay yung mga call sign nyo
Pero maano talaga. Masarap kausap ang magkapatid.
Okay.
Oo. And we grew up very close kami ni Pia. And well, one of the joys of my middle years, lalo naming nirenew ngayon yung sisterhood namin, yung friendship namin. I was a very shy little girl. Parang less shy si Pia sa akin nung bata kami. Pero we both experienced my first political experience together. Halos kasabay ng pagkabata kasi sumali kami doon lang sa backyard ng bahay namin sa Noise Barrage noong 1978. Oo, para kina Ninoy Aquino and the other then opposition leaders who were campaigning for interim batasang pambansa from jail. Oh, at doon ko narinig at naramdaman na wow, meron pala talagang malakas, literally and figuratively, malakas na resistance to the then martial law dictatorship at malakas literally na pagnanais for something better for, democracy, ganon.
Pero Lisa, I don't wanna date you, but you mentioned
It's okay.
78.
Yeah.
Nasaan ka no? High school?
Grade school ako noon.
Grade school?
78, I was in grade 6, yeah.
What led you, did you have any political background or at least may
Wala.
who influenced you to be
Family.
Family?
Oo, kasi yung mga magulang namin, yung mga tito-tita namin, like, I don't know, like many middle-class people, binoto si Marcos Sr. noong 1965. Oo, pero hindi na siya binoto for re-election noong 69. Tapos, lalong naging opposition yung feeling nung clan nung pagka-declare niya ng martial law. So, half dozen years later, sali na kami dun sa Noise Barrage. But I only really became an activist nung teenager sa high school dahil sa Nuclear Free Philippines Coalition.
Saan ka nag-high school sa...
Sa Isko, Manila.
Ay, kaya naman pala. Yung mga activist
Plaza
na
ako.
Si Sister Jane, ano si Manansan?
Yeah, Sister Mary John Manansan, Nini Quezon Avancenia, and Mary Concepcion Bautista. Sila yung Tres Marias ng
really?
Nuclear Free Philippines noon. Sobrang nag-inspire sa akin. That's why I formed, instead of, sayang, hindi ko na tinuloy yung pag-audition ulit sa repertory after Sound of Music. Kasi, instead, the following school year, nagbuo na ako ng simply named Nuclear Disarmament Group dun sa high school namin.
So
Ayun.
from Sound of Music, naging Sound of Guns.
Hindi
Or
nga
stealing the sound of
Silence
guns.
of guns.
Sound of
Silence of Guns,
di ba?
exactly. Na years later, dun ako naging active, di ba, sa peace movement
So, kasi
naman.
peace tsaka may pagka-envy kasi anti-nuclear
Oo nga, tama ka rin, Barry. Simula pa lang may pagka-envy na rin and very much sa peace kasi not nuclear arms and later not armed conflict pero peace talks, peace processes, peace movement, mga ganon.
Lisa, I'll go back kasi while you were only became politically aware sometime in 78.
Oo.
But apparently, I learned from Facebook and other literature that your lolo pala was a famous justice of the Supreme Court and governor and
Yes, and senator.
senator. Can you describe his name and mention his name and ano?
That was Lolo Jose. We call him Lolo Peping or Lolo Juez kasi nga nag-serve siya eventually as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. And before that, he served as governor of Capiz and Aklan kasi mag-iisang probinsya lang yon noon. And that for a time, nag-serve din siya bilang senator of what was called the 7th Senatorial District of Capiz, Iloilo, and Romblon. So nakakatuwa, nag-serve siya sa 3 branches of government.
Wow.
Very rare yun, ha?
Oo nga. Tapos naging delegate din sa Constitutional Commission before the 1971 Constitutional Commission. Siyempre, earlier than that. And then eventually nga, Associate Justice.
Alam mo,
Siya yung nag-top notcher sa back.
yun!
Yes, siya yun.
Hindi
Na-discover
pa kasi
ng isang
Justice
attorney
Yun,
Aitona.
99%
99 point something percent.
Parang inconceivable yun.
Nakakatuwa.
Ngayon ko lang
Oo.
nalaman yun because for the longest time, ang tingin natin, ang highest bar top notcher was si Justice
Regalado,
Regalado.
yeah.
of
Oo
San Beda.
naman. Oo, 96 point something percent. Unprecedented din. Si Lolo Jose took the bar panahon na the bar was still given in Spanish. And sabi nila, ang mga batas natin at that time, medyo based pa sa Spanish law. But still,
We're
yung
still
kanyang
governed by
rate,
civil code, diba?
grade was
Influence ng civil
oo,
code.
99+%.
Yung
Ayun.
ating revised
Civil
penal
code,
code
diba?
is still largely
On revised
based on the
penal.
Spanish penal code.
Kodigo
1997,
Penal.
So,
Pero ba't di ka na-inspire na mag-lawyer kung gano'n, Riz?
Yeah, alam mo, that's one of my regrets in life. Kasi ngayon, work in legislation. I have wonderful lawyers who work with me right in the office. Honestly, Barry and Edwin, paminsan-minsan naisip ko, shucks, sayang hindi ako nag-aral bilang abogado. I guess I grew up in a time na, sorry medyo lyric kami sa... sorry. Kasi martial law baby ako eh. So,
I can
di ba?
understand.
Medyo ang legal na talagang pinaprize ko yung sinabi ni Ka Pepe Joke na meta legal struggle, di ba? Pero yun, now it's one of my regrets in life, I have to admit.
but then you've gone far beyond being just a desire to be a lawyer. No, you're now a senator,
I have
like
great-
your lolo. So
Yeah, happy.
It's a feat on your and you're especially right now na iilan lang mga babaeng senador, no? O marami
Pito.
na rin. 7?
Pito sa kasalukuyang kongreso. We were a little more in the previous Congress. We were 8, 1/3 of the Senate.
Yeah.
At saka hindi lang ang lolo niya ang magaling batikang lawyer, politiko at saka justice. Ang kanyang uncle ay isang magaling na composer, di ba?
Yes,
At saka
ito,
Jesuita.
Father Eddie Ontiveros.
Ano yung mga kanta niya? Mga famous ang kanta, mga kanta na
Grabe.
uncle niya. Kinakanta natin na hindi natin alam.
Oo,
Ano mga kanta niya, Risa?
Pananagutan,
Ayun.
Jesus na aking
Walang
kapatid.
sinuman.
Talaga, yung
Ayan,
pananagutan,
alam ni
uncle mo ang gumawa nung ano.
Pananagutan,
Wow.
kay Tito Eddie yun. Yung he put the whole misa to music in the vernacular. Kahit Ilonggo siya, he composed widely in Filipino, in Tagalog. So, nakakatuwa talaga.
So, dun side mo nakuha yung musical talent at yung love for music.
Yung love for music. Ang mga Ontiveros reunion, panay kantahan, tugtugan ng gitara,
Sophia.
kung ano-ano pa. Lagot ka. Pero si Pia magaling sumayaw.
Ayan, tama yun.
Oh.
So, after Saints Co. and Nuclear Free Philippines,
Oo.
you went to college, Naku,
Oo.
ito
Oo.
Ito ka-schoolmate. Hindi pa. Hindi pa.
Hindi pa. Nag-apply ako for scholarship sa Ateneo. And
Okay.
salamat na lang sa kanila kay Father Bill Kreutz, Director ng Office of Student Assistance noon. Na-admit ako doon.
So, you were in Ateneo on scholarship?
Oo, financial scholar ako doon.
Kasi ang
Yeah,
tingin sa'yo,
so,
sorry Risa,
sana.
ang tingin sa'yo,
Yeah.
ay elitista ka, born with a silver spoon.
Oh.
Kaya feeling nila na hindi ka nakaka-relate sa taong bayan, sa masa. Hindi pala, so naging scholar ka pala.
Naging scholar ako kasi hindi namin afford na doon ako mag-aral. 6 kami magkakapatid, panganay ako. And ang dami namin karanasan about being, a middle class family during those times ng economic crisis. As in, naranasan ko na umutang sa mga kasama ko sa student council for pandagdag sa allowance namin magkakapatid. Nag-ano kami noon, carpool, but there were months na hindi kami maka-contribute sa carpool. So, thank God, dun kami natutong mag-public transpo from Parañaque papuntang Quezon
What?
City.
Parañaque ka
to
pa?
go to school. Merville kids kami noon. Doon kami lumaki.
Ang layo.
Uy,
Malayo. Malayo.
Pareho pala tayo. Kasi ako college, ganun din. Sa Parañaque ako
Ayun,
nanggagaling hanggang Diliman.
Diba? Commute. That was a
commuting.
long commute din. Marami kang lilipatang public vehicles. And in those years, we actually lost our house kasi sina Daddy had to take out a loan from SSS. Eventually, hindi na nabayaran. So, narimata siya. Kaya hanggang ngayon, kami ni Napia, mga kapatid namin, wala lang, pangarap namin na, kasi alam namin sino nakabili eh. So, pangarap namin.
Mabawi.
Sana, mabawi namin.
You will buy it back.
Diba,
Hindi na.
pangarap lang naman.
Hindi
Libreng
bebenta
pangarap.
sa inyo na ganyan lang. May value na yan eh. Sobra. May market value na. Lampas-lampas. Doon ka nakatira eh.
May parang may
heritage.
may ganun eh.
I didn't know that,
Ganon.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Hindi namin alam
Oh,
na
gosh.
dumaan ka rin pala sa...
Ang dami naming pinagdaanan.
And that's why
Grabe.
nakaka-relate ka ngayon sa hirap ng mga ating
Oh,
taong
yeah.
bayan.
Yeah, kasi yung mga economic hardships natin, ang tagal na actually. Siyempre, yung mga mahirap nating kababayan, ang pinaka nagsasuffer. Pero hirap din and very vulnerable. Kahit yung middle class.
Yeah.
I know, kasi middle class girl ako. So, tuwing may economic uncertainty, halos 100%, the 99% of Filipinos, talagang insecure tayo and natatakot tayo, right?
Tama.
What did you study in Ateneo?
Gusto ko sana mag-history. Pero weirdly, at that time, walang AB history. So, ang ginawa ko, kumuha ako ng AB Social Sciences and then I took as many history electives as I could. Yeah. Another alternative ko noon was philo, pero sabi nung isang mentor ko, ay nako, masyado ka ng dreamy. Kailangan mo mas mag-ground. So tama, social sciences. And may philo din naman, no, sa mga parang general education doon.
Pero Lisa, yung tumatak sa akin, yung pagka-repertory Philippines mo. So,
Yes.
short lang yung stint mo sa repertory Philippines?
Very short. Isang production lang.
Oh.
Yung Sound of Music. Oo, where I played Luisa, the third Von Trapp child. Yung pinakapilya. Yung naglalagay ng palaka sa kama nung yaya nila, si Maria. Pero I was preparing to audition sana for South Pacific after that. Wala, naudlot na kasi na-hijack na ako ng buhay aktivista.
Parang, she made the mark kasi akala ko ang tagal na niya sa repertory Philippines.
I
Parang
wish.
lang.
I wish. Pero meron din akong isa pang karanasan high school sa LaSalle Green Hills, yung Q. Sa LaSalle Green Hills. And I joined the production of Greece, Manila, 1950s.
Wow.
Ako si Sandy. And my Danny Zuko was Randy Santiago.
Wow!
Oo.
Kilala mo ng mga tao sino si Candy Santiago?
Diba?
O nga pala.
Alternates kami kina Rosana Henares and Mike Del Rosario. And the star of our cast was the very young Gary Valenciano.
Wow!
Oo.
So, in another life, you would have been a movie star.
Well,
star,
maybe not a
singer.
star.
A star of
but
stage
I
and
would have been
screen.
A mainstay in theater. And yun ang very clear yung plano ko. Kitang-kita ko yung buhay ko after politics. Mag-audition ako ulit sa PETA.
Parang gusto ko mapanood yun.
Please come and watch. No?
Pwede naman ngayon, kahit ngayon, pwede ka naman pag-off ulang session, mag-ano ka.
I wish, pero gaya ng politika, and it was first said of theater is a jealous mistress. Pwede mo lang gawin ng isa o isa kasi full-time talaga. Ide-demand yung buong pagkatao mo.
Okay. So, from high school to college, diba? You had theater, you had,
Yes.
peace advocacy. How did you get into politics?
Medyo, nagsimula na nga rin yun bilang student activist all throughout high school to college. And then, honestly, taking Soksay, akala ko, naghahanda ako for a career in research, writing, and teaching.
Okay.
Kaya lang nga, aktivista pa rin ako nung college. And nagpatuloy yun. When I graduated and started to work full-time. Naging community organizer ako sa Punta, Halahala, Rizal. Tapos maraming taon nga sa peace movement.
Yeah.
So, work on the ground
Wow.
sa mga komunidad. Oo, na naiipit sa armed conflict. Ang dami pa ring social issues na kinakaharap at doon na nga nagmumula yung armed conflict sa kanila. And then, during those years, ayan na. Dahil social democrat ako mula college, naging bahagi ako nung effort magbuo ng isang bagong at ibang klaseng at totoong political party, which eventually became Akbayan
Yeah.
Party. Yun.
Alam mo, may kilala akong isang community organizer naging presidente.
Si Barry?
Si Barry.
Obama.
Barry Obama. Si Barack Obama. So,
Wow!
baka hudyat yan, ano?
Ang galing ng path niya. Very inspiring sa ating mga
Pero
aktivista.
ano ang benefit of being a community organizer? Kasi that's the same background ni Barack Obama. He really...
Happy.
Well,
Oo
how
nga.
did you... What's it like being a community organizer?
Well, and it's so helpful to me until now as a legislator. Kasi pag organizer ka, talagang ang naturalesa mo ay organizing, educating, mobilizing. Ganun at ganun din, essential elements ng pakikipagkapwa sa mga tao as a legislator. Kasi it's been my experience, most if not all of the bills I've worked on, yung mga investigations on resolutions, yung mga budget interventions, kahit ang approach ko sa, the rare and very important moments of an impeachment process, nasa ganun pa rin yung isip ko. Paano itong mga legislative tasks will bring people together in an organized way para ilaban at ipanalo yung mga interest nila. Hindi lang in the big moments, say like elections, but araw-araw. Kasi araw-araw humaharap sa problema ang tao. O kaya, paano itong investigasyon sa resolusyong ito will be a public education moment for people, di ba? Or paano itong budget debates tulad nung sinubukan namin gawin last year na mas open, transparent, and accountable na process, mas hindi pa rin perfect, pero improve na budget in terms of responsiveness sa issues ng tao. Paano naman ito mag-mobilize sa mga tao to demand? Ano yung deserve nila? Ano yung entitled sila? Dahil taxpayers sila. So, hindi ibang mundo sa pagiging community organizer.
Lisa, tanong ko lang kung yung pagka-community organizer mo ba, yun ang naghubog nung iyong tapang, you're not afraid of confronting big organizations, yung mga malalaking tao. Diyan pa nag-umpisa sa pagka-community organizer mo?
Definitely. Parang nanuot na yan sa DNA ko Edwin, na, as an organizer, you're a lot more exposed to dangers than, say, a legislator. Pero, ang isang nabubuong ugali sa organizer, kahit may mga moments na matatakot ka, kasi talaga namang minsan nakakatakot, huwag ka lang maduduwag. Tuloy mo lang. And then, you're working with people. You're not working alone. So,
wait, sandali. May tanong ako. Minsan matapang ka, pero sa loob mo, may kaba ka rin.
Oo. Siyempre naman. Kasi minsan nakakatakot din talaga. But I share this also with younger colleagues. Halimbawa sa Akbayan Youth na okay lang matakot kasi minsan nakakatakot talaga. Wag lang tayong maduduwag.
Sa mga senador, ilan sa inyo ang merong karanasan bilang isang community organizer?
Well, I'm not sure I don't remember na kung naging community organizer, pero alam ko naging student activist din si Senator Kiko. Sa iba sa majority, hindi ko alam kung sino pa ang naging organizer sa community, pero parang kami lang ang naging student activists. Sa minority, parang wala. So, kaunti pa lang sa Senado. Maybe there's more in the House, for sure. Sina Chel, si Laila.
Kaya pala, ang tingin ng tao sa'yo, di ba parang there are competing interests, di ba? There's business interests, you're always on the side of the people. And maybe that shape your idea na I'm protecting the small ones and kaya yan ang priority ko.
Yun ang priority. Tico, I try to approach every issue. So anong karanasan dito ng informal settler? Anong karanasan dito ng magsasaka or ibang rural sector? Anong karanasan dito? Syempre, ng kababaihan kasi babae ako. And then I try to take it bigger for myself, tapos dun sa mga partner naming basic sectors. Kasi we're talking about the whole of our society eh. So, paano mag-get together to an acceptable degree through consensus, through negotiation and compromise dun sa ibang stakeholders. Kasi wala, yun ang nire-require sa araw-araw sa ating buong bansa.
Na actually, yun yung logical na pupuntahan given yung naging first experience mo as a legislator, as akbayan
Yes.
representative, di ba?
Correct,
Kasi
sa
pareho
House.
tayong pumasok sa posisyon na yon. And really,
Oo,
di ba?
oo.
Talagang consultation dun sa mga sektor na represent, yung pagbubuo ng mga policies in discussion and in
Yes.
conjunction with yung mga taong directly ma-affect.
So,
Ganun talaga yung idea eh.
Consensus building
Oo.
talaga ang ano nyo? Ang
Oo. Oo, 'di ba sa community organizing sinasabi, begin where the people are.
Exactly.
In a way, ganun din ang legislation. Yan, kami ni na Barry sa House, hanggang ngayon dito sa Senate, na you have to find a way to work kahit to varying degrees with the ones directly affected.
Tama.
And then, the others na may say din sa final outcome.
So, kailan kayo pumasok ng akbayan? Kayong dalawa ni... Sino na una?
Si Risa.
Ako, founding member ako,
Founding
1998.
member.
Pumasok ako sa akbayan, kagagaling ko lang sa aking LLM from NYU.
Yeah. Wow.
At ang una kong
Yeah.
trabaho ay lawyer
Prized
ni
member.
newly elected Representative Risa Ontiveros.
May issue ka?
Prize
2004.
new recruit si Attorney Barry.
Nagka-issue ba kaagad si Risa?
Hindi, wala naman.
Defender ko kaagad si Barry sa korte.
Kasi 2004, nung una, started out fairly typical. Pero 2005 kasi, nag-Hello Garci na. Ayan na. So, sunod-sunod na mga
grabe.
street protest. Yan. Si Risa
Yes.
na-aresto.
Yan, state of emergency nun eh, di ba? Grabe.
Ano nangyari? Ba't siya na-aresto?
Merong Women's Day rally sa may Welcome Rotonda.
Okay.
Yes.
And at that time, meron ng calibrated
State of
preemptive
emergency.
response.
Yun,
So,
CPR.
CPR.
Ang weird,
DGMA. Despite being a member of Congress, binuhat ng mga pulis. Sinakay sa
Hindi ginala.
mobile, dinala sa Camp Karingal.
Grabe.
Di ba,
What
as a
an
member of...
experience.
Bawal dapat. So, nag-file kami ng kaso.
Oo.
Ang excuse ng pulis, hindi daw siya inaresto. Tinake daw siya into protective custody for her own
Yeah,
safety.
right. Yeah, right.
Against
Against my
kabayan.
will.
Yeah.
Ano,
My
akbayan. Grabe naman.
Oo,
Protective
grabe.
custody.
Tsaka mga babaeng
Tutukan
nag-aarali
mo
to,
nun.
Women's Day,
Yeah,
March
Women's Day. Grabe.
So si Risa had to be protected from yung mga kababaihan.
Hello,
Nakasama
diba?
niya.
At saka yung mga labor na nandun. Hello.
Ano, kung pwede, and with your permission,
Of course.
alam ko yung political, medyo papunta tayo sa politika, pero wag muna tayo pumunta ng politika.
Talaga.
Pag-usapan muna natin yung kanyang love life.
Oh, good.
Hi, this is Barry Gutierrez.
Oh my gosh.
Hindi ko alam
Oh my
na
God.
may ganyan ka palang hot EL. Brother love.
Oh, wow.
Hindi, pero Risa, siyempre, nandito na rin, we'll take advantage of your presence.
Ano ba ito?
Pwede bang
Barry
ano-
and Edwin Badida.
Kamusta paano mo nakilala yung husband?
Oh, wow. Ano yun? Ang ugali kasi or ang gawi ng mga PMA cadets noon, ewan ko kung hanggang ngayon, pero I'm sure lalo na noon kasi they were all guys in the academy.
Okay.
Nangongolekta sila. Actually, inuutusan nila yung mga underclass cadets nila, mangolekta ng mga yearbook ng mga girls, high schools.
Wow.
Tapos tinitingnan nila yung mga pages, saka yung mga back of the book, tinitingnan nila yung photos, at saka yung mga extracurricular activities, sinusulatan nila. Snail mail pa noon eh. Wala pang email noon. This was mid to late 1980s.
So as in handwritten letters to?
That was what was so wonderful about it,
Okay.
Barry, and what caught my attention. Kasi usually, pag may sumusulat sa akin, I was junior in college then? Sophomore. Pag may sumusulat sa akin noon na hindi ko kilala, naiinis ako. But this letter was 6 or 7 pages, front and back, handwritten. Ang daming kwento, ang daming tanong, may mga doodles pa. Sabi ko, grabe, I have to thank this guy for the effort. Tapos nawala ko yung sulat niya for 11 months. Nahanap ko na lang ulit nung inaayos ko yung drawers ko sa bahay. So I said, okay, gosh, I still have to send a thank you note to this person. So pinadalan ko siya ng thank you note. By that time, nalimutan na niya kung sino ako. Kala niya, dinedma ko yung sulat niya. But siguro he liked my thank you note. So, sumulat siya. Asking me na about yung what caught his attention at the back of the yearbook na yung aking mga nuclear disarmament group, mga social reorientation program, na challenge daw siya. So, nagsulatan muna kami. We were pen pals. And we became best of friends bago kami nagligawan.
Anong pangalan niya, Risa? Hindi namin.
Frank Barakel.
Frank Barakel.
Yes.
So, how long did it take bago kayo nag-meet in person?
Nako, many months din. As in, maybe a year later. Kasi, editor-in-chief siya ng The Core, yung magazine nila sa Academy. At saka siya si Uncle Bobo, which is the beloved, parang cartoon character dun sa The Core na representing the everyman, every cadet. Okay. So, cadets would write him letters to the editor asking for advice about academics, syempre about love life, then mag-a-advise siya. So, one day, nasa printing press siya dito sa Manila.
Okay.
So tumawag siya, landline pa tayo noon, tumawag siya sa bahay namin doon, sa Merville, sa Parañaque. At pwede ba daw siyang bumisita. So pumayag naman ako and he arrived and first time we saw each other face to face. So mula noon, parang naliligaw na siya. Ay nako, ang nangyari ay EDSA People Power Revolution. He was in Manila, having their magazine printed when the revolution broke out. So, pinatawag silang lahat ng mga kadete ulit back up to Fort del Pilar.
Yeah.
He decided to stay behind with me.
Wow.
So, na-witness niya ang revolution from the eyes of students and student council leaders and student activists. So, from Ateneo, HQ doon, or we called it home base, sumasama siya sa akin. Pabalik-balik sa EDSA. Back to and forth to the Ateneo campus and EDSA. So, after that, dun lang ako nagbukas sa nauna niyang imbitasyon to go up for his graduation and be his grad hop. Ang hop sa mga kadete ay date. Kasi noong una siyang nag-imbita, sabi ko, I am not going up there. Bakit? Kasi, commander-in-chief niyo pa rin, si senior. So, it's always our joke now na pasalamat ka or hanggang kinasal na kami at parents na ng aming mga anak, it was always our joke na pasalamat ka kay Cory Aquino. Kung hindi dahil sa kanya at sa people power, hindi ako umakyat sa graduation mo at hindi tayo nagpatuloy at nagkatuluyan.
Nasabi mo ba yung kay Pinoy?
Ay, nakwento ko sa kanya minsan. And he appreciated a good and funny story, di ba? So, tawa siya ng tawa.
Galing
Talaga naman, parang pwedeng pelikula yun.
Parang
Pero question ko lang, Risa.
Oo.
Sokdem ka, military
Yes.
siya, tendency, mas conservative siya.
Of course.
Nagko-clash ba yung yung beliefs nyo?
A lot. We had a lot of debates. When we even had Carino Brutal nicknames for each other. I used to call him fascist military. And he used to call me radical nitwit. Oo. Pero, I don't know ang nangyari in the years na mag-boyfriend kami, and of course in the years na mag-asawa kami, we found enough common values. First of all, to decide to marry and to have children. Tapos essential. We couldn't have done without this. Yung mga kaibigan ko, naging kaibigan niya. Yung mga kaibigan niya, naging kaibigan ko. And na-symbolize namin yun simula sa kasal namin. Kasi, di ba, pag ikakasal ang isang PMAer, isang officer, nagdo-draw swords sila. So, after the wedding, palabas sa recessional, dadaan kami sa ilalim ng draw swords. So, sabi ng mga kasama ko, wala pa yung Akbayan noon eh. Mga kahanay ko sa Pandayan, one of the blocks that helped form Akbayan. Hindi sila patalo. So, past the row of drawn swords under which we passed, sila naman, nagtaas kamao. Dumaan din kami sa
Okay.
And in the reception, na habang kumakanta sila ng K-Det Girl, which is their song for the girlfriends or wives of PMAers, at sinasayaw nila ako, ng mga PMAer, sinayaw din ng mga kahanay kong babae, si Frank. So, gano'n.
Okay.
Talaga Love conquers all talaga.
Yeah, it did. In our case, it really did. It was hard, very challenging, but we dedicated ourselves to the task, and it was worth it.
And how many children did you have?
We have 4 children.
4.
Yeah.
So I suppose they're adults na, no?
Malulaki na.
Malaki na.
The 3 older ones are tapos na lahat, nagtatrabaho. One is married, one is engaged, the other one has a girlfriend, and then bunso ko na lang nag-aaral pa.
Ito, bago tayo pumasok dun sa mas contemporary, no? How has being so how has being so visible in the public eye affected yung pamilya? Kasi you're not just an ordinary senator. You've been a senator on the forefront ng madaming mga controversial issues. At sa panahon ngayon, wala nang paggalang minsan sa pribadong buhay ng mga public figures with social media and all that. So, anong epekto sa inyo and how have you handled it?
It's been quite difficult, Barry. Lalo na as a mom, a solo mom. Met talaga nag-aalala ako. I mean, every parent we worry, diba, about our kids from time to time. We just want them to be safe. They don't necessarily have to be comfortable, pero I feel responsible na they're in a safe space. So dito naman sa trabaho ko, napapansin mo na nga, no? Minsan napaka-hostile, napaka-predatory ng environment, offline and online. And yung mga kids ko, like all young people of their generation, syempre, netizens din sila. Yung bunso is a digital native. The older ones, tumawid, pero they're much more comfortable in that space even than I am. So, sensitive din sila sa mga trends online, and since they're none of them is an activist, none of them is certainly a politician. Ayaw namin mag-dynasty, pero they're like their generation, they're very aware, very opinionated, very engaged sa mga spaces na pinili nila. So sometimes minsan may lag ako, I forget to update them na, kids, there's this development on this issue that we're working on sa Senate. And often their first reaction is, Ma, okay lang ba? Meaning, is it safe or is it dangerous? So, kailangan din namin mag-level off about that as a family.
Yeah. You mentioned, by the way, Lisa, that you are a solo mom, no? Just to avoid confusion, how did you become a solo mom?
Well, si Frank was a lifetime asthmatic. So nung last assignment niya sa Cordillera Regional Command, tumagal yung decision niya to go up to Baguio General kasi akala niya kaya niyang i-manage itong matagal at matinding asthma attack niya with his usual inhaler and nebulizer. And finally, when he agreed and his housemates were bringing him up to the city, nawalan siya ng malay on the way. And when they arrived at the ER, hindi nila siya ma-revive. So he had a heart attack pala.
When was this, Lisa?
21 years ago, 2005. Yeah.
Wow, so you've been a solo mom raising your kids on your own for the last 21 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's plus you're being a senator, plus...
And nangyari yan, that was your first term, di ba, sa
It
Congress?
was my... tama. First term ko
Naalala ko yun.
sa House. Yeah.
Dami palang dinaanan, daming dinaanan ni Lisa. Akala ko talagang, yung walang naging senador na walang karanasan sa buhay, pero ang lalim pala.
Yeah.
Yan yung mga tipo talagang dapat to be a public servant eh. Because they know the sentiment of the people, plus how it is to go through heartbreak and suffering. Very, very revelatory for me.
Yeah. So, eto, let's move on to yung mas contemporary nga na usapan. Sabi mo kanina, so much happened last year, di ba?
Yeah.
Ang daming mga nangyari, ang daming mga developments. How do you see ourselves ngayon? Itong bansa natin, given everything, lalo na yung mga revelations sa skandalo sa flood control and all that.
Yeah. Grabe. I think, alam naman nating lahat na matagal na yung issue ng corruption.
Yeah.
Pero parang ang pambihira last year, yung scale and yung intensity ng revelations talaga.
Tama.
For the first time, what pains us about corruption, nalagyan ng price tag na shocking talaga,
Yeah.
na nasa magnitude ng trillion. Kaya dun siguro nanggagaling yung tindi, and I believe yung endurance ng galit ng mga tao. Yung interest nila, passionate interest sa Blue Ribbon investigations, sa Quadcom, sa ICI in its first months, yung mga rallies na nangyari last year. I think this is an energy na tumawid talaga sa bagong taon. And it's an energy that shaped and pushed even the budget process last year na
Yeah.
iba, 'di ba, sa mga naunang mga taon.
Yung unprecedented level of transparency na lang sa BICAM Very clear
diba?
indicator. Yeah.
First time open BICAM to the public. Yung mga ganon ay mga genie na hindi na pwedeng isiksik ulit sa bote at istopper. I feel this energy will have carried over into the new year. At ihuhugis talaga niya yung mga susunod na mga developments, yung mga legal processes that were begun last year that I feel will continue into trials and into sentences para hindi lang sa mga tao na nasa DPWH at saka sa mga contractors, pero pati dito sa political world natin. And moving forward, I think itong passion about anti-corruption kasabay nung yun na nga yung mga pang-araw-araw that make people cry, make people suffer. We will turn, I believe we as a people, gagamitin natin itong mga energies to use as raw materials, as ingredients, as tools to really push for more and more changes moving forward.
Anong gusto mong makita coming out of this, at least in the short term? Kasi meron na tayong nakitang some results. Yun nga, yung open BICAM,
Yes.
itong renewed emphasis on transparency, itong pagiging mas open ng Kongreso at ng Senado sa initiatives na matagal nang natutulog like anti-dynasty, etc. Pero
ganda
in the
yun.
short term, anong tingin mong dapat nating makuha to take advantage of itong galit na to, itong energy na to?
Itong energy, itong buwelo, sana magamit din natin to push some of our priority legislative agenda na nagulat ako. Pati ang Malacanang, in-adopt yung iba dyan bilang priority ledge daw nila. So, patotohanin natin sila, di ba? You mentioned one, the anti-political dynasty law. Finally.
Yeah.
Na, isa sa mga brilliant insights ni Representative Chel tungkol dyan was to wed it to the party list reform bill.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi I remember a conversation with Rep. Chel last year. Sabi niya, sige, itong matagal nang iniutos ng konstitusyon na anti-political dynasty, let's make as an entry point to that yung party list reform.
Na actually, nagawa natin yan for SK.
Yes, SK reform and empowerment. Correct.
Ang only current law na merong anti-dynasty ngayon is the SK reform law na pinasa natin sila.
Diba?
Kami nila kaka.
Hats off to you and the young people na partner nyo nung pinasa natin ng akbayan. And these young people, they were so much a part of the anti-corruption campaign again last year. They were so much, 'di ba, yung mga young tawag dito, budget reform experts natin during the budget debates last year, 'di ba? Especially oh may gulay. I can see their faces. Their names are at the tip of my tongue. Mga younger experts and resource persons sa budget debates last year. And these young people are at the forefront ng marami sa mga issues na inilalaban natin on the environment, of course in terms of identities, but also in terms of yung mga overarching and unifying issues na which pag naipanalo natin can bring a lot of relief to people in the everyday, no? Presyo ng bilihin, yung kita sa trabaho at hanap buhay, 'di ba? So all of these moving forward into even onto the elections of the decades to come, young people will be so important. And of course, young people themselves are an energy who give me hope.
Pero, Luisa, you became very prominent last year, especially with the investigation on Alice Guo.
Yes,
Parang ang tanong ko,
2024.
Do people approach you? Kasi parang ang dami mong mga gito marami investigation. Parang ang feeling ko, malaki ang tiwala ng tao sa'yo, kaya maraming lumalapit sa'yo. Ganun ba yung How is you're able to attract a lot of these people who would like to ask you to investigate?
Ay, maya't maya may nagsusumbong pa rin. na sometimes related to the POGO, sometimes related to the flood control, magsusumbong din. Kahit sa messenger lang. And then, syempre, titignan namin ng legis ko. And sometimes there are really nuggets of gold. Lalo na kapag yung mga pagsumbong ay from the localities where they live, where they work. And people approach me on the sidewalk or kung sa supermarket para sabihin, hey, nanood kami dyan sa POGO at sa Alice Guo investigations nyo, or nanood kami sa budget debates or yung Blue Ribbon sa flood control scam. Until now, there are younger women and even men na magsasabi, talagang nagamit namin at nasiyahan kami dun sa expanded maternity leave law. Kasi nakapag longer maternity leave ako, or some guys will say nakapag longer paternity leave ako. So, nakakatuwa.
Dapat pala magkaroon na rin ng YouTube channel si Risa. Isumbong mo kay Risa.
Oh my gosh. Hindi na ako makakahabol dun sa isang politiko sa Senado, sa ganyan.
Pero Risa, itong Congress na to, you are the chair of the Health Committee.
Yes, again, after 8 years.
Can I just ask, bakit mo piniling maging chairperson ng Health Committee?
Oh, that was already my wished for committee when I started working in the Senate noong 2016. Kaya lang 2017, tinanggal kami ni na Sen Frank, our minority then, what became our minority then, from our committees. Ngayon lang ako nakabalik ulit bilang chair ng Committee on Health after 8 years. Kasabay ng I'm still happily chair of the Senate Committee on Women. Oo. But I'm so excited to be back sa health kasi ngayon mas pwede pa naming itulak ulit yung full realization ng Universal Healthcare Law at pwede na naming finally i-convene yung Congressional Oversight Committee on the Universal Healthcare Law para tignan paano na implementa itong UHC law on the 6 tinatawag na pillars of a universal healthcare system. Halimbawa, yung usapin ng let's have enough beds sa lahat ng government hospitals natin kasi kulang na kulang. Or dun sa aspect ng health financing and insurance, itulak talaga natin yung full zero balance billing sa Department of Health and PhilHealth. Lalo na ngayon, there's a wonderful new PhilHealth President CEO si Dr. Edwin Mercado, super partner to push these reforms and much more.
So ang vision mo talaga for universal healthcare, libre, zero balance.
Oo, zero balance billing. Sa ngayon kasi it's reserved to, of course, our indigent patients. At kapag the improvement is kahit hindi ka indigent, kahit middle class ka, or kahit siguro kung mayaman ka and you choose to take a basic or ward accommodation, in starting with DOH hospitals, pero ngayon we're going towards even private hospitals, a certain percentage ng mga beds nila devoted to basic and ward accommodations, at dun makaka-avail ang PhilHealth member ng zero balance billing. So let's have that continued and more accelerated realization ng universal healthcare law para 'di ba lahat naman ng Pilipino ay PhilHealth member, lahat tayo nagko-contribute whether directly or indirectly. I-push natin 'yon para talagang walang threat of financial ruin
Tama.
ang kahit sinong pamilya dahil lang nagkasakit.
Risa, meron akong isang advocacy na galing pa to kay Pinoy. No? This was a debate between being hospital-centric and primary care-centric. No? Bakit
Yes.
ang insistence ni Pinoy, and which I really believe is, if we focus more on primary care, health care,
Yes.
mas makakamura tayo ng panggasto sa universal healthcare kasi
Correct.
you treat them early. Pero ang
Yes.
napansin namin, and maybe I'm not sure if I'm correct here, that if you are too hospital-centric, eventually the cost of healthcare becomes more expensive because you're bringing them to the hospital. So, sana
Correct.
mailipat, maigawa ninyo na mas may emphasis sa primary healthcare kasi
Oo.
para mas mura ang paglabas ng premium ng healthcare natin, benefits.
Correct.
If you treat them early, you take care of them early, para the cost
Yes.
of healthcare will be a lot lower than bringing
Yes.
them eventually to the hospital. Parang yun lang ang...
Yeah.
kaya
That's
yun yung
the heart and soul.
Debate
Ay,
namin.
tama kayo ni Noy. That's the heart and soul of the universal healthcare law. It's really anchored on primary healthcare.
Right.
Na sa pagkapanganak natin, healthy pa tayo, or in our adulthood, healthy pa rin tayo. Through health promotion, panatilihin nating malusog. Pero kung magkasakit man tayo, knock on wood, primary healthcare pa rin ang unang approach. Doon
Right.
tayo sa hindi specialist agad, 'di ba? Hindi self referral. Let's go through the universal healthcare system. Tutulungan tayo ng ating chosen healthcare provider to navigate the healthcare system. Doon muna tayo sa primary care para, kasi ang mga ospital, essential din naman ang papel nila, and lalo na at the tertiary level, kung wag naman sana lumuba ang sakit at kailanganin yung tertiary care. But it's true, finances-wise, for every peso we spend for primary health care, nakakatipid tayo ng mas marami sa tertiary level. So, ang ospital at ang primary care, they are actually complementary to each other sa isang maayos na UHC system.
As health committee chair, may nakita ka na bang dapat iimbestiga?
Yes. And tinuro na ito mismo ng DOH. Kasi nung budget debates last year, sinabi mismo ng Secretary of Health na meron silang mga super barangay health centers na pinondohan, pero hanggang ngayon, hindi pa operational. Why?
Wow!
Yeah, Barry. So it's not just flood control scams. Tinuro mismo ng DOH na bakit may ganitong mga non-operational super barangay health centers. DepEd also pointed out mga bagay na sinimulan na rin nilang imbestigahan. So, whatever happens to the blue ribbon on the flood control, whatever happens sa ICI na we have filed bills para palakasin yan, hindi pa hinain, we can continue sa Senado to file resolutions for investigation sa iba't ibang mga komite na may oversight over the different departments para talagang tignan natin at kung kailanganin, i-root out natin yung korupsyon sa lahat ng departments ng ating gobyerno.
Malaking ano yun yung healthcare talagang importante.
At saka, ang masaklap kasi sa mga corruption na lumalabas, di ba? Flood control, healthcare, education. Ito yung mga kailangan ng tao eh.
Yes.
Tapos yan pa yung pagnanakawan mo. Parang,
Exactly.
di ba, parang
Correct.
doble yung sakit eh.
Exactly.
Correct. Kasi buwis nila, inaasahan natin na ang buwis magpo-produce ng services,
Tama.
social protection, including flood control. Siyempre, darating taon-taon yung bagyo. Then, babahain tayo ng mas grabe pa. Talagang double whammy. Kaya siguro dobleng galit.
Naalala ko, yung itong may earthquake Risa sa Cebu, yung Bogo, ang laki ng earthquake, yung, I think, tama ba yun yung finand nyo
Na ospital.
Yes.
na ospital, at yun lang
Yes.
ang matinong
Naiiwang structure na nakatayo.
nakasurvive.
Sobrang natouch ako sa sinabi ng medical director doon. Kasi pagdating namin doon sa Bogo, which had been the epicenter of that earthquake in Cebu, malakas na bagyo, sabi niya, Sen, I was so grateful walang fatality caused by the earthquake in that hospital. And grabe, sabi niya, ni isang glass window, walang nabasag.
Wow.
So, I mean, it shows na kapag tama nating
Ginastos ang pera.
ina-appropriate
Tama.
at ginagastos, ina-execute yung program or yung project, it works for people. So, after that strong earthquake, at the epicenter of the earthquake, that hospital in Bogo continued to take care of the injured and the sick.
I don't understand, Risa. How is it that that particular hospital that you funded was able to withstand while the other hospitals who may be similarly funded by others?
Yun yung subject to fact-finding siguro. Pero kaming ilang mga senador na nag-pitch in to propose amendments at the proper time, dun lang sa period of amendments in that earlier year. Hindi kami nag-insertion sa BICAM. We proposed our amendments during the period of amendments, in-approve ng Senate as a body. So, happy kami na. And it was really proven to us na, happy talaga yung tinulungan nating maitayong ospital sa Bogo because it showed, unlike the other health facilities na nag-collapse in the middle of the earthquake, na this was money put and executed to good use.
Well spent.
So, posible naman
Well
pala.
spent. Posible.
So, on the topic of posible, di ba? Pinag-uusapan natin kanina yung idea mo nga na preventative muna, di ba? Primary healthcare. And then, kung sakaling kailangan mo mag-ospital, zero balance. Which is actually what happens sa mga ibang mga bansa na merong universal healthcare, di ba? They don't need to spend. So sa tingin mo, Riz, honestly, achievable yon para sa Pilipinas?
Honestly, dito lang sa mga kapitbahay natin sa Asia Pacific, merong mga best practices sa Thailand, a little further away sa Australia, if we want to go further sa NHS sa UK, I'm sure pag hinanap natin sa Latin America, sa Africa, meron din. So, I mean, di ba, kung nagagawa ng ibang mga bansa, ibang mga peoples, no excuses sa atin. So, let's just do it.
So, sa sistemang yan, kailangan pa ba kaming lumapit sa congressman namin o sa senador namin para kumuha ng endorsement letter?
Please, yun ang isang practice na gusto na nating spare yung ating mga kababayan. So, ngayon pa lang, may pending bill. It's called the Universal Healthcare Medical Assistance Program Bill, na sa bawat ospital merong isang simpleng at generically named na office, social services unit, one-stop shop, doon na lahat ng medical assistance ng buong gobyerno, whether yung kasalukuyang ma-IFIP ng DOH or yung medical assistance ng DSWD or ng PAGCOR or ng PCSO, dun lang magtatanong ang pasyente or pamilya niya, makukuha na nila. Diretso. Hindi na dadaan sa senador. Hindi na dadaan sa rep. Because why? And you know, ngayon umiikot ako sa mga government hospitals. Kunyari, the other month, nandun ako sa Pampanga, sa Jose Bilingad. Then may lunch meeting ako sa iba pang mga doktor sa ospital and in other provinces. Ayaw na mga government hospitals na mga doktor natin na kailangang halos mag-beg pa ang ating mga kababayan at magkaroon pa ng akala mo utang na loob sa aming mga politiko. Because why? Like the flood control projects, pinopondohan yan ng buwis ng mamamayan.
Tama. Binayaran na nila yan eh.
Binayaran na nila. And entitlement natin yan bilang mamamayan. Hindi na kailangang dumaan dapat sa politiko.
Risa, merong itong paulit-ulit na fake news na lumalabas doon to sa
God, yes,
pwede
yes.
Papaliwanag once and for all para sa ating mga followers.
Yes.
Ano ba itong fake news na to at ano ba talaga ang totoo?
Ang talagang totoo ay naging miyembro ako ng board ng PhilHealth for 11 months in late 2014 hanggang late 2015. Kasunod niyan, ginawan ako ng fake news na kasama ako sa corruption nung 2016 onward.
Nawala ka na doon.
Wala na ako doon. At sinabi yun ng PhilHealth Finance Department, sinabi ulit yun ng Commission on Audit, sinabi yun mismo ng mga fact-checkers tulad ng Vera Files. So, kumbaga may mga resibo sila at paulit-ulit nilang pinipresenta. Pero yung fake news makers, paulit-ulit din at massively nila inuulit. So, kailangan ko lang sabihin yun din ng paulit-ulit. Yan po ay kasinungalingan. Physically impossible na ginawa ko yun at talagang hindi ko ginawa.
Ang upside lang niyan, Sen, ay kapag tinitira ka na ng fake news, ginagawa ka na ng fake news, may impact ka. Ibig sabihin.
Yes, tama.
Well,
So, mga kababayan, you've heard personally from Senator Risa Ontiveros the real state of this whole thing about PhilHealth. Hindi siya kasama doon dahil tapos na siya. 2016, senador na siya eh.
correct.
Diba? So, narinig niyo kay Senator Risa Ontiveros. Kaya kung sino man magsasabing involved siya, banatan niyo na. Sabi, narinig ko mismo kay Senator Risa Ontiveros na yan ang totoong nangyari.
Yan.
Opo,
Pero
please.
ako sobra akong na-excite dun sa kinuwento mong plano mong ma-achieve talaga na buong implementation ng
Yes.
universal healthcare. Kasi yung ideya talaga na bawat Pilipinong pamilya hindi na kailangang mag-alala kung sakaling may nagkasakit sa kanila dahil alam nila na may sasagot niyan na pondo galing sa gobyerno. Ang laking ang laking ginhawa.
Oo,
Healthcare is a
talaga.
human right, di ba? Dapat niya
It
karapatan yan.
is.
Na nakalagay sa
Dapat
konstitusyon natin
talaga.
actually.
Correct. Kaya
Actually, right,
talaga,
right.
hopefully, Risa, as chairman, talagang mangyari na yan para...
Yes, I'm so excited to work on that talaga.
Yeah.
Being a community organizer, talagang ramdam mo yung It's good to have a community organizer as chair of health committee.
Pero eto, how do you see yung mga nangyari in the last year? Itong mga exposés na to, yung lumabas na galit ng tao, yung I suppose bigger expectation sa gobyerno na lumabas dito. How do you see this playing out sa mga susunod na taon? Especially pagdating ng 2028, napipili na naman tayo ng mga bagong leaders natin. Ano yung how do you want people to take this forward?
Well, I believe we're already translating yung galit natin into greater decisiveness na let's make these changes bigger and deeper and let's make the changes stick for the future. Siguro yung galit natin is also awakening that not just a greater hope, pero expectation, definitely sa gobyerno dapat lang, pero siguro expectation din sa sarili natin, no? Yung mga kasama sa civil society, yung mga kababayan natin, I think kahit sa private sector, kasi teka muna, ang dami nating pangarap sa ekonomiya natin. Bakit nauuna na naman yung mga kapitbahay natin sa reyon to realize their dreams? May din tayong mangarap to, diba, to strengthen our economy, to make our people more prosperous, to make our development path more clear and stable. So, tingin ko itong energy ng galit plus pag-asa plus decisiveness, nararamdaman ko greater decisiveness, hopefully will make us want to deliver better results pati sa mga susunod pang maraming eleksyon.
Ang nabanggit ni Edwin kanina yung isang conversation namin kay Casey, di ba? And parang lumalabas doon may dalawang perspectives eh. Na parang itong mga exposés na to sa dulo, mag-fizzle out din yan, and pagdating ng 2028, we will continue to choose the same old people, di ba? Renewing yung cycle. And then there's the other perspective na kami, ganun yung tingin namin, na ito, panibagong pagkakataon para ma-realize natin na kailangan natin pumili talaga ng mas maayos na mga mauupo sa gobyerno. Ikaw, anong tingin mo?
I'm with you. And may pangitain na tayo nung midterms. Okay. May mga unprecedented na mabuting resulta which gave us more levers within government institutions. Hindi na-predict ng marami na usually yan yung mga oracles natin ng mga resulta ng eleksyon. Pero nangyari, napangyari natin o ng mga botante natin, mamamayan natin. And we can move forward with that greater degree of power even within the institution to make it work.
Wag mo namang i-minimize yung contribution mo sa 2020. Laki-laki ng ginawa mo para sa kampanya nun eh.
Salamat. Well, siyempre, after 2022 na ako lang yung nag-survive dun sa opposition slate, siyempre, fired up ako and I felt responsible na maging kasama dun sa paghahanda para sa midterms. And ayun, napagtulong-tulungan natin magdagdag ng mga kasama sa Senado, sa House, lalo na sa party lists, 'di ba? Akbayan, ML at iba pa. And so definitely bahagi ako sa paghahanda rin para sa susunod na general elections.
Dito ko nakikita yung pagiging community organizer background ni Risa. Ayaw na itulak yung sarili niya eh. Laging common triumph ito.
Of course. It really was. And it will be again.
pero kasi yung sinasabi ko nga ang aking teorya na nangyari ito nung 2010, Risa, kasi di ba 2010 grabe ang corruption noon. Napagod ang taong bayan, namili ng isang taong matino at napili si Pinoy. So ngayon, talamak din ang corruption ngayon. So may topmost issue siya. There's a hunger right now again to elect a honest and an honest president. So yan yung that's where parang yan yung perspective ngayon. So naghahanap sila ng sinong matino. Na-mention ka rin one of the na-mention ikaw kasi nga anti-corruption crusader ka. Yung sinabi mo ikaw lang nag-survive and amidst the lack of allies you were able to confront the monsters and the big enemies of like corruption, no? Do you parang if asked, are you willing to consider running as president?
I've been asked that question by at least 2 mga civil society coalitions or movements na salamat sa kanila. Talagang they've taken up the task of unifying the opposition around a common candidate or slate. And so nung tinanong nila ako, sabi ko, okay, I'm open to running for president and I will definitely support a common candidate kasi yun ang advocacy ko mula sa simula. And I agree, Edwin, talagang may hunger, in fact may uhaw para sa pagbabago. And there's really a golden opportunity right now. Hindi lang dahil sa external na circumstansya, pero yung panloob na pakiramdam ng mga tao.
Sana nga.
Sana nga, Risa, but alam mo, ang kwento nga sa akin, yung may ibang panic, ikaw ang tinitinan dahil hindi ka, you're the unknown eh. Ikaw yung hindi ka ma-define kasi nga, alam nilang lumalaban ka, medyo because of yung last year mo was your breakout year eh.
Yes,
Doon ka
2024
nakilala
talaga.
Ka sa surveys, sa mga FGD focus group discussions na matapang ka, you are someone who will not you will not buckle under heavy pressure, no? So that's why lumalabas yung pangalan mo repeatedly. So I hope you would consider if asked kasi kailangan natin talaga ng isang matinong, matapang at saka may puso para sa
may puso at may pananaw para sa dapat nating maabot. Yeah.
And the right motivation to serve. And one should not, sa akin lang, Risa, I've been to several elections. You cannot be reluctant because you really have to serve because that is a calling. It's like a vocation that you need to serve the country. And very few people are gifted with that calling. And I hope if that appears, is offered to you, at least please consider running. And I'm glad to know that you're open to running for president.
Opo, I am considering it and maraming salamat and I will do everything I can bilang kasama to make that scenario materialize na we will have the strongest, most popular, most winnable candidate to offer yung mga kababayan.
Mayu-unify lahat ng progressive forces.
Mayu-unify. Kasi yun lang ang fighting chance natin talaga.
Tama.
Oo. And itong unifying chance, para sa akin, it's not just a short-term scenario. I'm really excited na mag-offer tayo ng medium-term man lang. Not 1, not 2, but let's work for 3 successive administrations para kung may 18 years tayo, 2 decades, 1 generation, mas may panahon tayo to institutionalize the reforms and internalize a worldview.
Lisa, we're on the same page because that was the time during 2013 Butch Abad and I discussed.
Oo.
Because normally, reforms to take root should take about 10 years. That's a World Bank study.
Okay.
And that's why we were discussing having 3 terms of successive
okay.
We're on the same page. 20, ano pa lang yan, pinag-uusapan na namin ni Butch Abad. Kaya naghahanap kami
Sana
talaga
nga.
ng taong talagang because we've seen the benefits of a very good administration. Pinoy was
Talaga.
able to do that despite everything, di ba? Na naging investment grade tayo. He focused on the
Yes.
social services infrastructure.
Yes.
Kaya tumaas din, umangat yung buhay ng ating mga pinakamahirap. And naging number 4 pala tayo. During the time
diba?
of number 4 among the most foreign direct investments.
Diba?
Because of good governance. And
Hindi
that's
yung
why,
inaalisan tayo ng FDIs ngayon, nilalayasan.
Nilalayasan na tayo.
Kailangan ibalik.
So, kaya lalapit at lalapit ang mga investors sa atin. Gaganda yung buhay ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino. Sana isang tabi muna yung mga kung dilaw, pink, DDS
Yes.
Tingnan mo talaga what is the best for you?
Let's make it a bouquet, like your painting.
Talagang yung
Gawin natin
painting.
bouquet. Yung painting inspiring eh.
Diba? May pink,
Oo.
may yellow.
Iba't ibang, lahat ng kulay.
Yung pala ang ating theme for this year.
pero talagang kung yung puso mo ay for good governance, maraming magagawa.
Okay. So, on that note, Sen,
Last word muna kay Senator Risa.
yeah. Anong message mo for the new year? Ano ba? That's year of the fire horse ito, di ba?
That's my year. 5
Wow!
years ako.
Mabilis pag fire horse daw, everything is accelerated daw. Yung nabasa ko sa fire horse
Yeah, any
Grabe,
message for the year of the fire horse?
Wait, you're a fire horse in a fire
I'm a
horse.
Oo, during the fire horse. So, dahil accelerated, dapat patuloy pa rin tayong mapanuri, di ba? Mabilis pero prudent pa rin at nakikinig sa isa't isa. And I guess the last thing I can say for now is, visually inspired din ako dyan sa bouquet na yan. So, sana pagkatapos ng napakamatinik ng nakaraang taon, ang sakit-sakit talaga, ang hirap talaga. At dumugo tayo ng dugo talaga, blood, sweat, and tears. Sana patuloy tayong mag-big kiss tulad ng bouquet na yan at mag-bloom para sa isa't isa ng mga kababayan at mag-bloom ng mga bagong buds at bagong shoots ng damo ng pag-asa para sa susunod na taon. Para yung mga ani nating mga Pilipino at para sa ating iniibig na inang bayan ay maging higit na mayaman at marami at mapagsasaluhan sa mga susunod na dekada. Yun.
Thank you. Natuwa ako na napaka-hopeful ng simula natin for the year.
Happy.
And because we trust in you, Risa, we know that you will be a very, very faithful public servant. We will pray for you that you will be successful in
Thank
all
you
your
so
investigations,
much.
all your legislative bills,
Salamat.
and your chairmanship of the Health Committee. Or what
Yay.
Barry was saying na sana maging reality yung talagang authentic universal healthcare dito sa
Marinawa. Let's do it.
Thank you, Sen.
Salamat.
Happy New Year ulit.
Marami.
Happy New Year.
Happy Epiphany.
Thank you, Risa.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 2016, she wanted to run. In fact, I
Sa Senate. Yeah.
as a senator. Parang in my mind, kasama na siya sa slate. Pero she was so humble enough to text me if she would be considered by the administration to be part. Sa loob-loob. And I had to respond to her. Sabi ko, Risa, there's no issue that you'll be part of the slate. Because you're one of those who we're looking at to be a senator. And yet, in spite of that, she was still very, very humble and nagpasalamat lang. And eventually, she won.
Yeah, yun yung third time niya. Yeah.
So, talagang we are very happy that she won. And then, she talagang nagpakitang gila siya. So, that's why it's very admirable na talagang we made the right decision to elect her to the Senate. And much more na talagang matapang na kababaihan. And then, right now, nag-focus sa health. Matutulungan talaga yung majority of Filipinos. Not just investigations, but really providing the promise of a healthcare.
Napakaganda actually ng vision na in-outline niya, at least for yung sa healthcare, di ba? Yung ideal lang talaga na magkaroon tayo ng totoong universal healthcare system na hindi mo na kailangang alalahanin paano mo babayaran yung pagamot ng kung sino mga mahal mo sa buhay na nagkasakit, ang laking ang laking tulong nun. Ang laking
Bulk talaga ng problema natin is healthcare, di ba?
Yeah.
We have one of the biggest number of diabetics.
Yeah.
Diabetic is a very, masyadong mahirap na sakit to eh.
Yeah.
It affects your heart, your eyes, your liver, your kidney. But if it's not handled, treated well eh. So, yan isang concern yan in diabetes, malaking problema yan. It's not even heart attack, diabetes na talaga. Mahilig we're sweet people eh. Alam mo naman, sweet ako. Kaya,
So, yun. And ako, matagal ko nang kilala si Risa, pero may mga ibang kinuwento kanina na hindi ko alam.
like ano?
Hindi ko alam yung buong kwento nung love story nila ni Frank. Halimbawa, alam ko lang na nasa PMA si pero hindi ko alam na ilang buwan pala silang nagsulatan muna bago nagkita.
Oo nga eh. Ang hindi ko alam, founder pala siya ng Akbayan.
Adi, oo. Early
That's a huge achievement. Imagine you're now what? You're one of the biggest party list. Matagal na kayong party list. Kaya hindi ko alam na founder siya. Akala ko si Randy David ang founder. Hindi
kasama naman din sila Randy David.
Pero ang point lang, hindi ko alam. Akala ko sumunod na lang siya. So, kung kaya maging isang founder, kaya maging leader, kaya maging presidente.
Hindi ko rin alam yung pala siya. Nag-scholarship siya sa Ateneo.
Ay, hindi ko rin.
Ngayon ko lang nalaman yun.
Kasi ang impression sa kanya, maganda siya, ang tawag yung mistisa. Hindi akala mo, feeling mo na silvers. Yung mga stereotypes natin, di ba? Lahat ng artista natin yun, dapat maputi, di ba? Na nagugluta tayo, parang gano'n eh. Pero itong si Risa, talagang nakita mo talaga na dumanas din siya ng hirap.
Okay.
Now people will know she can identify with me pala.
Yeah.
Na kung anong dinaranas ko,
Community organizer rin ako naman.
Yun na nga.
Talaga, pag community organizer ka, talagang lubog ka dun sa mga komunidad na pinaglilingkuran mo.
Parang parang social worker. Like, pumasok sa utak ko, si the late Dinky Suliman.
Tama, si Sek Dinky.
Ganun ka,
Si Sek Dinky, nakilala ko, head pa siya ng hindi pa, NGO. Nasa NGO pa lang siya. Kasi di ba dyan din ako nang galing sa...
Kaya nung nalaman ko, hindi ko alam kung community organizer pala siya. So, nung nalaman kong community organizer, alam niya yung damdamin ng community at sa individuals.
Okay.
So, lalong napabilib ako. Kasi wala tayong presidente na naging community organizer, abogado, di ba? Abogado, artista, politiko talaga.
Well, kung nanalo si Lenny Robredo kasi nanggaling din yan sa...
Community organizer din siya.
Well, hindi community organizing, pero yung sa saligan.
Oo,
diba? Talagang lawyer for the people.
Lawyer for the people. Pero yung nga yung kailangan talagang may puso at damdamin. At yung importante, yung hindi natatakot mag-confront ng corruption.
Actually.
I'll tell you this. The Pinoy told me one of the most lines that I always remember, and I mentioned that in my show the other day. Sabi niya, kasi bagong pasok ang kina-administration. Ang sabi niya, we're not here to perpetuate the status quo.
Tama.
We're here to break rice bowls. So talagang babasagin natin yung kailangan basagin.
Para magtayo ng mas maayos.
Kaya yun ang ginawa ni Pangulo Aquino. Kaya maraming na bago eh. So, yan din ang gusto natin makita sa susunod na administrasyon. Sana kung may panahon pa si Pangulo Marcos, if he can do it, why not? No? But it's just that people expect that it's just too corrupt na right now. Eh.
Yeah, ako, expectation ko na lang ngayon, sana makadeliver dun sa pangako na may makukulong. Mga big fish. Ayan.
Actually, yun na lang nga, medyo nahihirapan pa eh.
Yeah.
Hanggang ngayon, sabi, bago the end of the year, may makukulong na. Ngayon, nag-backtrack sila, January, may mapoprosecute.
Okay na yun.
Okay ka na ron.
Basta may makasuhan na malaking isda. Hindi itong mga taga-DPWH lang. Diba? Yun yun.
Mga senador, gano'n.
Yan, kanyan.
So, sa halinawa.
Kaya nga. So, EL, bago tayo magtapos, meron ka bang joke para sa...
May isang joke ako. Ano ang paboritong prutas ni Beethoven? Kilala si Beethoven, siya yung German composer na magaling.
Ano ang paboritong...
Saging.
Bakit?
Di ba? Yung Fifth Symphony, banana na.
Okay. Parang minsan nagsisisi ako na tinatanong ko ba. Okay. So with that, maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay at pagpanood ng aming latest episode.
Ay,
Sana
may
nag-enjoy kayo.
babatiin pala ako hindi natin nabati kasi tape tayo si belated happy birthday to Elsa. Dapat January 1 siya. Alam mo, December 32, may January 1 yung birthday niya doon. So, belated happy birthday, Elsa. So,
birthday.
binati natin na advance.
Tama.
Binati na bati na happy birthday.
Okay. So,
yun.
okay. So, sa susunod na linggo uli, kita-kita uli tayo.
Maraming
salamat. At wag natin kalimutan, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay.
Thank you. Kita kids.
We have been in the construction business for 23
Mahiya naman
years.
kayo. Lalo sa mga
Young
anak natin.
Rodrigo, what China is doing to the Philippines.
So I would presume that in the 23 years,
Understanding politics, listening to the right one.